name's Thomas, I'm a student at the Sigma, and today I'm going to pitch you a short called A Ball in the Jar, a portrait documentary about a mother and her group.
Okay.
How do
You can go like that.
I? Okay. What is it about? So in 2006 my mum was pregnant with my older sister's twins, and during the birth, just before birth actually, they found out that they had died, which meant that it resulted in stillbirth, which is where a baby dies in pregnancy, but after the before that it will miscarriage. So the short documentary is how my mum sort of dealt with that grief and was able to rebuild and grow from that experience. Obviously feelings of like loss, grief, and like accept sort of like the 5 stages of grief in a way.
Absolutely. Okay. That's what
Reasons you should invest. It's a very untouched and unaware subject. A lot of people don't know what it is, never heard of it, and considering the statistic of it being one in every 200 babies in the UK is still so that's 8 babies dead.
Right.
So it's a very, considering that statistic, it's very unheard of, which for me is surprising because obviously I've grown up knowing what it is my whole life, but most people have never heard. It's also quite a taboo subject. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. Obviously, I mean, it's to do with death, pregnancy, and like birth, which are two very contrasting things. So it does make sense, and also to do with death amongst babies as well. So again, it makes sense why it's taboo, but it shouldn't be, because it leaves a lot of parents sort of in this position where they're grieving, but they feel like they shouldn't be able to talk. They're not allowed to talk about it because it's so like, oh, you shouldn't talk about it. So it can make a lot of people feel like they've got no one to talk to because they've got no one to talk to them.
You're very isolated with it.
Another reason is, so I am a breakaway baby, which means the baby born after a stillbirth or a miscarriage, and it's quite personal to me, and it's also developed a really close relationship with my mum. So it's something that we bond with a lot, and it's like I have a younger brother and my stepdad who sort of don't really get it, whereas I've always been like understood and like I just get her and how she dealt with it. She's also really open about it. Like it's surprising how open and how confident she is when she talks about it. Obviously, it's a big part of her life, so it does sort of make sense, but at the same time, it's quite surprising. So I think it's quite just like inspirational, like sort of thing to consider, and also quite educating. So obviously, if a lot of people don't know about it, learning about it, and learning about how someone actually deal with that grief is quite an interesting educational thing. So you can always sort of learn from that. And as well, in mental health, parents very it can be ignored by a lot of people. A lot of people don't really think about it. You see a lot of people sort of just not really considering that fact of like, are they okay, are they anxious? And when my sisters were died, my mum had no one. She had no one, she had nothing. She had a piece of paper which I read. It's a 2-page piece of paper which says, here are some help. That's it. There's no one to talk to, nothing. So yeah, it's also very easy to do. I live with my mum every other week to my class reports, but it can be it's just
So you're close to your mum.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So that's a very, very good case. How it is, what it is, and what's your
So parents are still with children. Obviously, they might feel alone, they haven't really got anyone, and sort of seeing someone else's experience might be able to sort of break that bubble for them, and make them know that they aren't alone. Also, midwives. So a lot of the time, when a child is stillborn, the parent, fight or flight, will blame it on the midwife, and it happens all the time. I think it, like if not, like it happens every single time a child is stillborn. The parent blames it on the midwife, understandably. However, it can be quite an alarming and sort of violating thing as a midwife.
Yes.
So I can be sort of like a warning, and also how they can deal with that as well, help them pregnant women.
Yeah, so it's basically anyone who's that, it's people overcoming grief.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. Yes, a lot of it's to do with grief, and a lot of it's to do with also the NHS.
Yeah.
So you talk to them, and I'm not sure what's a very balanced view of that. So she'll be a very good person to talk about that. Yeah, mainstreams and explorers and reformers. I get that.
Yeah.
Did you? What about? Oh, you have got demographics, age, gender. Do you know about I don't know how to explain demographics very well. Demographics is like their social group, so it's A to D.
I was thinking, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a social group. It sort of happens.
Oh, to everyone, yeah. So you could
Yeah.
just say it could be A to D.
Oh, okay.
It's A to D. It's everyone. It will appeal to anyone who's come across it. So
Okay.
you're absolutely right. Yeah. You would say social demographics wise, it can happen to anybody. So I would say probably A to D.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you would say. But that's fine. That's fine. Everyone seems to understand.
Okay.
But that's fine. Okay, I really get that. That's great. Who's and where would you put it out?
I put it on YouTube, on my personal breaks website. Also, I have it on social media, and also so does my mum. So I probably put them onto that as well.
Okay, so it should be very targeted on really social media.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, carry on.
Structure.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, what are stillbirths? So the introduction, explanation, what happened and what happened afterwards. So sort of like the effects and responses of her. And the effects on friends and family. Again, with the mental health thing, she was quite alone. So it's sort of looked at that aspect of it. And then how it impacted her life. So her life, her views on death. And also the charity work that she's done. Which,
So it has a positive outcome. So
yeah.
What this terrible thing that happened to her has spurred her on to do something. She's overcome it.
Yeah.
And she's now doing great.
Since then, she is a completely different person. Obviously, me not being born, so I don't really get a say, but it's two completely different people from A to B. And she's come a long way.
Really,
And I think it's quite interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And wow, quite emotional. Okay, so this is the look of it.
Sample materials, like this sort of interview layout with different angles to keep sort of interest. Footage on location of like my sister's graves.
Oh right, so that okay.
I don't know actually. I know where it is, but I don't know where it is.
Right.
It's in Bristol somewhere.
Right.
And then so like a sort of B-roll from like an archive footage of like things like my mum's Facebook, which she's got a lot of, and also there's a lot of. She's got a box full of things that she had from my sister's birth and death. So there's a lot of stuff in there that I can photograph and sort of stick together as well together.
Okay. So it's quite a heavy subject.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need to shoot it in a very sensitive way. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But okay, carry on.
Shooting schedule, so 3-day shooting. So these 2 days will be pretty much the same. And then Wednesday would sort of just be like, just catch up with anything that we've missed out.
Well, there'll be a lot of B-roll,
Yeah.
especially if you're going to cinema.
Yeah.
Not loads of people.
Well, I still want to get a lot of sort of interview footage as well, because I would like to make a longer one as well. But that does not matter. My main target is sort of the short one.
Yeah, well, that's your coursework. A lot of people do two-cut.
Yeah.
Which you might put out on social media a longer version. I understand that. All right.
And then schedule shooting days. So obviously every day, and then on Thursday, Friday, just going back and checking the footage because obviously I'll have a lot.
Oh yeah.
So seeing what I can work with, what I have.
We were very sensible because it does take, when you shoot documentary stuff, you always have very hard shooting ratio, so you have to managing your file is hard work.
Yeah.
So that's very sensible.
So obviously I'll come in on a Friday. Same with the editing. Obviously Wednesdays, I don't come in on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I have really good opportunity to do that.
Okay.
And then the finish date should be by the 2nd of February. When it's hopefully by then it should be done. I'm confident that I can get it.
Right, good.
And then the budget, total cost obviously £1,200. £1,040.
Yep.
So again, so equipment, salaries, catering and editing.
Okay, I see you got crew salary. I love the way you got pension.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, that's good. Right, so you've got that. Okay. Carry on.
I believe that is it.
Okay, so legal and ethical issues. What might they be?
So there's a lot of ethical issues with the idea. So labeling's a taboo thing.
Yeah.
It's about death. It's about pregnancy. It's also about dying a baby. So it's quite.
It's a sensitive.
Yeah, it's a very, and there may be some, obviously my mum does not speak with every single stillbirthing parent, so there might be parents who also agree that it's a taboo subject. So it's something that, although a lot of grieving parents, from whether they're 50 or from like they're 20, they can they might have different outlooks and stuff. So
No, that's fine. I think what you've got to do, I mean, obviously your mum is,
yeah, and
she's obviously part of the organisation there, like you're saying, because she does a lot of outreach stuff.
recently, I'm not too sure. However, in recent years, so I think the last time she did a marathon was 2021. I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
No, I was just thinking, what would be interesting if you made it, and obviously your mum would want to look at it and say if she felt it was fine, legally and ethically. Because legally would be, I don't know, it's not so much legal, it's more than anything ethical.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Are you on some, are you going to upset your mum? Are you going to upset? Are you going to misrepresent any organisation which represents people like this? So all that has got to come into it.
Yeah, I think like
They might really like it. Because we had someone whose sister was adopted, who knew anything about adoption. And the organisation who did they invested in it. And not financially, but they really helped them to get interviews or someone to interview and talk to and nerds and talked about.
yeah. Well, it's not specific about organisation.
Yeah.
So it's.
Sorry, I just no, it's fine. Yeah, no, I think it's a really, really good idea. I think legally, more than anything, it's a very sensitive issue.
It can be.
But I think because your mum is who she is,
Yeah.
she will be able to guide you what she thinks you should do, what she should do, and
I
where it
think
should go.
also another interesting thing as well is she was in the NHS at the time. She worked in the NHS at the time, and she was very young. She was 21. So she was really young, and she was in the NHS. And all like continued until like after I was born. So it's sort of like a betrayal as well.
Yeah, no, it's really, really, it has all the hallmarks of being something which would be absolutely amazing, beautiful, and very important. So, amazing to do it for the challenge. You're lucky you got someone. She guide you. And where you just do an interview at home?
So I was thinking as well of maybe interviewing in a car and visiting the funeral. Is it home? Funeral home?
Yeah, okay. Where,
So where they had the where they had the funeral.
Okay, are they buried at that?
I'm not sure they're buried in the same place, but they might be. I'm not too sure. So it might just be like to get an interview, just driving around that area, and also driving up to I think Southmead, which is where she gave birth to them. So
she's
driving
talking
up
about
to
how
there.
she feels about revisiting the reality, how she felt at that time, and how she feels now. Wow.
However, time constraint wise, I'm not sure if I'm able to fit it. So that is my only problem.
Yeah, but it's a really amazing idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah, I definitely.
And watch lots of documentaries about people deal with it.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. I commend it, it's fantastic. And that's it, really. What said you worked out, we talked about legal issues. Yeah, well done. And I look forward to seeing you. Well, if you want to turn that off to recording.
That one?
Yeah, and then turn the